Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we took on the St. Louis Blues in the first round of the playoffs, and we managed to beat them in 6 games, but we were pretty much heavily reliant on our top 6 forward group for the most part in that series win. So I'm hoping that here in the second round, we're able to find our depth scoring a bit, because it hasn't been too good so far. But you can see in general with like our forward group, we're heavily reliant on these 6 guys. Other than that, Enroth, Eberle really didn't do too much, Matsumoto. So our depth scoring is still okay in a sense, but it's obviously not at the same point where it was last year, and that is not great. So obviously I'm hoping for it to improve in the next round. Also, if guys like Vandermeer could get going a bit, because he definitely struggled in that first round with only 2 points, it would be very, very helpful through this team. Also, we need much better goaltending too, because Stanley King and Grant both didn't do too well in the first round, so it would be nice for them to find their game a little bit in this next round and make us a better defensive team as well. So we need to improve our defensive play for sure, and also our depth scoring, because we can't just rely on our top 6, because or else our top 6 at some point might just go quiet and then nobody else will score on the team. So it would be great if we could get that firing on all cylinders, so to speak. But anyways, let me show you guys what the Chicago Blackhawks are looking like, and then we will get into round number 2. There was no comments in last episode, so we're just going to pretty much hop in right away after we look at their roster again. It's been a couple of days actually since I've played this, so I don't really remember what they're rocking with. Oh yeah, they had like a lack of depth in a sense, but they don't really have a huge weakness either. But they do still have Connor Bedard, who's only 29 at this point. Alex Holt. So you can see they definitely have still some very solid talent in their top 6 and in top 9. But they're definitely not as good as they were a few years ago when they won a Stanley Cup, in my opinion. Their defensive core, though, is pretty damn solid. Top 4 is a little bit weak with Andre and Fabro, but that top pairing with Korchinski and Spence is pretty damn nice. Top 6 pairing in general with Olsen and Virgilio is kind of mid, but it's still not bad because both guys actually are in that type of role. And then goaltending wise, of course, they have Logan Scarlett, our former goaltender, who we dealt to them. And what's also interesting is now this season they have Lassie Rantanen as a scratch. He used to play with us as well, but we traded both of them away to Chicago. So hopefully Logan Scarlett doesn't continue his good playoffs so far, because so far Chicago has been a very good defensive team in the playoffs. As you can see, so far through 7 games, Scarlett's got a .944 with under a 2 goals against average. So I'm hoping that our offense continues to do what it is doing, at least like our top 6 wise. And then, like I said, hopefully that bottom 6 and whatnot could get going as well, and we can find ways to score on Scarlett like we did last season. But anyways, let's get into the second round matchup. It's the exact same playoff run so far as last year, which is interesting because we knocked out St. Louis, then we played Chicago in round 2. And there's a chance that we might take on the same team in the conference finals if we get there as well in Anaheim. So let's see what happens, see if we can continue to roll in the playoffs. We've been a fantastic team in this series so far. We've won so many cups. We're still looking for our 3rd cup in these 5-year spans, so it would be nice to continue building towards that in this episode. So let's get into game number 1. They're coming off a game 7 victory, so hopefully they're a little bit more tired than us, because we got a little bit more days of extra rest. Let's keep this team the same as the last year's as well, but we might have to make some adjustments early on depending on how our defense and goal scoring is going through our lineup and all that type of thing. So first period of game number 1. 2-2. That's kind of similar to how we were playing last round in a sense. We were giving up a lot of goals, but we were also scoring a good amount of goals. So Aiden Irving has both of our goals. So once again, the top 6 is off to a good start. Hemming scores for them, of course, because he used to play with us briefly. And then also Parks, who I don't even remember which guy that is in our lineup, but he scores as well. Shots are 17-11 in favor of Chicago, so we're getting outshot quite a bit. However, we are still in this game, which is good. So not a bad period for Stanley King, but their goaltender in Logan Scarlett, and obviously not off to a great start, probably because he knows he's playing his former team. I'm hoping that we can obviously build off that in the next period, and also hopefully, like I said, our other lines could get going too, not just our top 6. Second period, 3-2 Chicago. Not great. A power play goal from Giordano. We're only being outshot by 1 shot now, so we definitely had a better period in terms of chances, but we ended up giving up a power play goal against. That's not great. We need to definitely find a way to get this game tied up in the 3rd period. We have home ice advantage for a reason. We obviously don't want to lose that home ice advantage. Let's see what happens in this third period. See if we can find a way to tie it back up again. Yes, we can. And Enroth, nice. That's a third line goal. So there's a line, like I said, that hadn't been doing much. But it's good to see it on the board here in game one. And Jacquezie scores. That's another top six goal. And he scores again. Let's go, Jacquezie. Our top six has been phenomenal so far. I mean, that third line at least has contributed a little bit lately to our offense. But still, it definitely is much quieter than the other lines. There's another goal for Enroth as we win 6-3 in game one. That's a huge third period and a nice victory as well. Final shots were 37-36 at the end of it for Chicago. Scarlett got pulled in the third period because of those 3 quick goals. Let's freaking go. Yeah, that's a good game. Good offense. Defense and goaltending was better in the third period for sure than the first period. So I will take it. So Irving with his 6th from Palin and Cairo, and then he got a 7th from Jacquezie and Misa. Then we had Enroth from Goldman, Jacquezie from Misa and Irving, Jacquezie from Vernarski, and Enroth from Eberle and Cairo. So we had 3 guys with 2 goals in that game. Enroth, Jacquezie, and Irving. So we didn't really need anybody else apparently. I think that's the first time I've had 3 guys on 2 goals. That's crazy. It would have been interesting if like a couple of them would have got hat tricks, but oh well. Yeah, nice. Good stat lines, some really good plus minus. Goaltending numbers, that's much better from Stanley King. Even if he puts up like a 919, I will take that over like a 900 save percentage anytime. So good opening game for Stanley King. He didn't play great in the first period, but after that he was much better. 3 stars of the game, Jacquezie, Irving, and Enroth. Nice. Okay, so we have a 1-0 series lead on the Blackhawks. That's a great way to start it off. Obviously, we need to continue on that pace, and hopefully that third line continues to score like it was just doing in Game 1. Because obviously, like I said, that top 6 won't be able to just carry our offense consistently. It could, but also at the same time, we need that depth scoring. That's a key thing in winning Stanley Cups, in my opinion. So we have a 1-0 series lead. We're still on home ice. Let's keep the team the exact same and see if we could roll some momentum after that great third period into game number 2. Because if we could take both home games, then hopefully we could take at least one on the road in Chicago and give ourselves a better chance at winning this series and getting to that conference finals again. Let's see what happens in game 2. See if we could have a good offensive output like last game. So here you go. First period of game number 2. 2-0 us. That's a great start. Enroth again and Misa. So our third line is definitely doing a lot better here in the early stages of round number 2. Enroth already has 3 goals in the last 2 periods, actually, for that matter. And then Michael Misa scores a shorthanded goal. Shots are 13-12 in favor of Chicago, but we're up by a pair of goals. Good start defensively and also offensively as well. So liking the way we're playing in the series so far. Hopefully we could have another good defensive period in the second and not keep them completely off the score sheet, because if they get 1 back, they could start to claw back into the game. Second period, 3-1. Okay, I'll take that. They did pull within 1 on a power play goal again, so our penalty kill is still kind of rough, but that's okay. And then Michael Misa makes it 3-1, so that's a nice insurance marker. Michael Misa has 2 goals in this game. Shots are 29-23 in favor of us. We're up by a pair of goals. Let's just see if we could lock this game down in the third period. Maybe get 1 more goal to play it safe, because obviously they have good offense in their repertoire. Power play for us, we did not score on it. Penalty kill, nicely done. Power play for us now. We do not score, but it does kill off a lot of time on the clock. And Caden Wilson, who had a great first round, scores his first goal of the second round to make it 4-1. Let's go, Caden. Final few minutes, and they do get 1 more power play goal late by Tapper, but we do win 4-2. We take both of our games on home ice. We outshot them 43-30, but we do get another victory on home ice, which is great. That's exactly what you want to use the home ice for in the playoffs. So not a bad game again from Stanley King. 28 saves. I will definitely take that. He's definitely playing better this round than last round, in my opinion. Enroth from Eberle, Misa from Enroth, Misa from Vandermeer, and Wilson from Groshek and Bickle. Nice. 3 stars of the game, Misa, Enroth, and yes, Stanley King got 3rd star of the game. Obviously, if he didn't allow that late power play goal against, he would have had a much better game, but it was still pretty damn strong. Yeah, Louis Var was a +3 in that game, so we are definitely playing a much better defensive brand right now. And then also Stanley King is playing way better than he was in the first round for sure. Hopefully he could find ways to play that way in Chicago as well, because obviously it's going to be tough to win in Chicago because I think they're probably going to be a better home team. I don't remember if they're a good road team or a home team in terms of their record going into this round, but still. We're on a pretty good little winning streak now. We're on a 3-game winning streak, and we've won 4 of our last 5 games. Okay, we're 6-2 in this last 8 games, of course. I think we got to keep the team the exact same for this next game because we have scored a combined 10 goals and given up 5. Seattle's also up 2-0 right now in their series. Buffalo is as well, and the Islanders. So there's 3 2-0 series leads at the moment. One of those probably will end up not lasting very long. Like, probably the home team is going to win the next 2 games in one of these series, and hopefully it's not ours. Hopefully we could take a 3-0 series lead or a 3-1 series lead technically after these 4 games, because I don't think we're going to sweep Chicago, but there's a chance obviously as well because we do have the experience factor on our team. Yeah, let's keep the team the exact same. Everything's been working well for this team so far. I know this episode could end up being really short if we end up sweeping Chicago, but at the same time, who cares? Let's get to game 3, and let's see if we can keep the ball rolling, because right now this team is playing great. So let's just see if they can continue to do that. So here we go. We're in Chicago now at the United Center. Can we take a 3-0 series lead is the question. It starts with a great first period. Can we have that? First period. 1-1. Hey, I'll take that. They did open the scoring, Alex Holtz, but Aiden Irving answers back, and it's a 1-1 game after 1. Shots are 16-11 in favor of Chicago, so pretty good first period for Stanley King, all things considered. And yeah, hopefully we could have a good second period here and find ways to score more goals on Logan Scarlett, because so far he definitely hasn't been as good as he was in the first round for the Blackhawks. Second period. 2-1 Chicago, not great. Korchinski scores a power play goal. Our penalty kill needs to be definitely reworked. That's the one thing I've had a little bit of problem with. So I think I might address it next game. But they do score a power play goal again. We're only down by 1 goal going into the third, though, so we can still tie this game up and claw back into this. Shots are 25-23 in favor of the Blackhawks as well. Let's see if we're able to find a way to tie this game up in the third period and maybe get our offense going again. Let's see what happens. Penalty kill to start the third. That's not ideal considering our penalty kill has been pretty dreadful, but we did kill it off. Do we have a goal in us to tie it up? Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties, boys, especially when you're not doing that well at the penalty kill. Come on, boys. Can we score one more goal to get it to overtime? Please, somebody. And we're not going to get it done as the Blackhawks take their first game on home ice. 2-1. I would say that's still an okay, good game defensively and goaltending wise, obviously, but we needed our offense to show up, and that was the first time it hasn't done that in quite a while. Our only goal was Irving from Misa and Jacuzzi, and then we just could not score after that first period. So Logan Scarlett having a much better game against us this time around, but Stanley King was also good, and he gets third star of the game. So let's see, do I want to make any adjustments? Vernarski's losing morale because of ice time. That's not ideal. Means we might have to make some defensive adjustments this offseason in terms of getting people the correct amount of ice time. Let me go to edit lines here and see what we could do to try and get this team to find that offense again. Obviously, there's not really much I can do. Oh yeah, I could take Cam back out of the lineup. I think I'm going to do that, actually. We're going to put Matsumoto back down the middle, take Cam back out, and then drawing back into the lineup is going to be Lannon. Yeah, we're going to do that. Bishop's still losing morale because of ice time, but I don't think there's anybody I want to scratch here on this defensive core. Yeah, this defensive core has been pretty damn good. What I could do, though, is I could split up some pairings if I really want to, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think we're going to just keep the rest of this the same. So Cam's going to get scratched, and Matsumoto's going to go back to center. We're going to have Lannon on that left side, and Alexiev on the, or actually Lannon on the right side, and Alexiev on the left side. I think I said Lannon on the left side because he's actually a left winger, but I think the rest of this will stay the same. Yeah. Eberle's been really quiet this playoff run compared to last year. He's got 4 points, but he's only got the 1 goal. That's kind of weird. I don't want to rework the top 6 really at all. I mean, I could put Wilson back on the top line if I really want to. But do I want to do that? Because I don't think there's really any adjustments I need to make with this top 6. So we're going to keep that the same. And we're going to go into the next game and hope that our offense can find itself. Oh, yeah, I was going to address the penalty kill. That's one thing. Got to take a look at the penalty killers and see if there's anything we could do to maybe make it better. Goldman and Jacuzzi need to stay together. That first pairings, our first penalty kill unit's pretty decent. Second one, that's okay chemistry-wise. They're all okay chemistry-wise. So I don't know why they're assimilating so bad. And Roth doesn't fit the penalty kill really that well. Has he scored any short-handed goals this playoff run? No, but he has had 3 during the regular season. I don't really know what I should do with this penalty kill, because I feel like it might be okay still. Like, the chemistry looks decent. It doesn't seem to be simulating that crazy. Maybe it's this last one with Jacuzzi on it. And we're going to keep it the same. At this point, I honestly don't know what to do to fix it. I'm just going to keep it the same. If it loses at the series, though, that would be pretty detrimental. So if it continues to play terribly these next few games, maybe then I'll make adjustments. But right now, we still have the series lead. Let's keep it intact. And let's see if we could take a 3-1 series lead here. Because like I said, I would like to win at least 1 game in Chicago. Because if we don't win 1 game in Chicago, then we're back to score 1 again. If we do win 1 game, though, then we have a chance to then we have a chance to close out the series. And that would be very, very nice. So here we go. Let's get to game 4. See if we could have a good response in this next game. If our team can find ways to score goals like it did in game 1 and 2. And let's also just continue playing that good defensive hockey we've been playing as well. First period of game 4. Scoreless. Hey, I'll take that. That's a good defensive period. Even though we didn't score in it, we've only scored 1 goal in our last 4 periods at this point. So our offense is kind of going a little bit quiet, which isn't ideal. It would be nice if our top 6 came through because obviously they've been so good up to this point. Shots are 12-11 in favor of the Blackhawks, and nobody has scored just yet. Here comes a big second period for both teams. Obviously, if we have a good second period, maybe we have a chance to take a 3-1 series lead. If Chicago has a good period, though, maybe they have a chance to tie the series up, which is not ideal. Let's see what happens in the second period. 1-1. Hey, I'll take it. We did score first. It was Bickle, and then Fabro scores for them to tie it up. We're being badly outshot 26-17, so we're not really generating a ton of offense, but we did score first. And Stanley King has definitely been playing really good in the second round, which is really nice to see. Because he has been a little bit inconsistent in the playoffs in the past and whatnot. Let's see what happens in this third period. See if we could find a way to grab that lead despite being outshot by non-shots. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys, please. Penalty kill to start the third. Stop it, penalty killer. Short-handed goal by Goldman. That's why we do not address the penalty killer. Because Goldman is on it. He's going to score a short-handed goal to give us the lead. I think that might be our second shorty, actually, of this series. Because Michael Misa also had one. Aiden Irving makes it 3-1. That's a big insurance marker by the captain. Final few minutes. Caden Wilson gets one as well. And Aiden Irving gets another. We score 4 goals in the third period for the second time in the series against the Blackhawks. We got outshot 38-25, but we are 1 win away from the conference finals once again. Let's go, boys. That is a great way to win that game. And another huge performance from Stanley King. He's been really, really good here in the second round. Complete reverse of the first round, in my opinion. So Bickle from Groshek and Wilson, Goldman from Jacuzzi and Palin, Irving from Jacuzzi and Misa, Wilson from Groshek and Cairo, and Irving's 10th from Jacuzzi and Misa. It's great to have Aiden Irving back in the playoffs again, because last year, obviously, he missed the entire playoffs. He's been great here in the playoff run so far. He's already got 10 goals at this point. So Stanley King, the first star, 37 saves. Jacuzzi, the second star, 3 assists. And Aiden Irving, the third star, with 2 goals. Let's take a look at those stats. Yeah, our top 6 has still been phenomenal, which is great. Obviously, it would be better if we could get our other lines going as well. But obviously, it doesn't have to, it seems like, at the moment. But a 974 save percentage from Stanley King. He was definitely a very key piece to winning that game for us. Like, we were badly outshot at one point after the second period, but he kept us in it. And then our offense showed up at the right time possible. Okay, so we are 1 win away from winning the series already, which is kind of crazy. I didn't think we were going to be able to do it this easily, but Chicago hasn't posed that huge of a threat for us, because we have now scored a total of 16 goals in 4 games, so 4 goals a game average, and we've only given up a total of 8 goals in 4 games, so 2 goals against, which is phenomenal. We are 7-3 in this playoff run so far. We got to keep the team the exact same going on to home ice. Can we close out the Blackhawks on home ice in 5 games and go to the conference finals once again? It's either going to be still Anaheim or Seattle. Anaheim did respond with 2 wins in a row. Buffalo's already swept the Detroit Red Wings, so they'll be going to the conference finals. And it looks like the Islanders actually might be taking out the Rangers, which is kind of surprising. Okay, let's get into this next game and see if we go to that conference finals once again. We've been there so many times already, but let's keep on chugging, boys. Let's keep on chugging. First period of Game 5, back on home ice. Can we get a lead after 1? First period. 1-0 us. Good start, and it's Matsumoto. Love to see it. It's always nice when the other lines decide to show up, not just the top 6, because I love the top 6 a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I'd like to see that depth scoring as well, because it definitely shows that your entire team could do damage at any time possible. We're out shooting them 17-7, so Scarlett definitely kept his team in it after 1, despite us only being up by a goal, because it was a late goal for Matsumoto with 1:14 left. Let's hope that Stanley King plays like he did the last few games, because maybe he'll have a good strong second period here to keep us with a lead intact. Let's see what happens. Second period. Still 1-0 us. Okay, we're out shooting them. Goddamn, not being outshot. Goddamn. Cannot barely talk for some reason. Shots are 30-16 though, in favor of us. We're dominating his shot chart, but Scarlett is keeping his team in it, which is kind of scaring me that he might be able to will his team to a win if they're able to tie this one up. So I hope that Stanley King just plays like he's been doing the last few games and our offense finds a way to get an insurance marker, because I am a little bit scared because of that shot gap. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we could find a way to grab that lead even stronger, I should say. Grab that insurance marker. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Get that next goal. Hey, let's go. Caden Wilson. That's a huge goal to make it 2-0. We're into the final 10 minutes, still up by a pair of goals. They do get one back, though. Holt scores. Not ideal. Penalty kill. Please kill it off, boys. Nicely done. Our penalty kill hadn't been good, but it does kill it off there. Final few minutes. We hold them off 2-1. Stanley King with another solid game. 24 saves. We win 2-1. And we are going back to the conference finals in 5 games only. Let's go. This team is a complete wagon. I love it. Final shots 42-25. Blomqvist was in net for that second goal. Scarlett was in for their first, so I don't know if Scarlett got injured, but their goaltenders were really good in that game to try and keep them in it, but they could not do it. Their offense definitely was not very good against us. Like, I don't even know if Connor Bedard really had any points against us. Of course, he had an assist on that last goal, but I don't know if he had really any points against us. So Matsumoto from Kyrou and Lannon, and then we had Wilson with the game-winning goal from Vandermeer and Groshek. 3 stars of the game. Yeah, Logan Scarlett was really good. I guess he played most of the game, and then Blomqvist came in for that last goal again, so Blomqvist lost him that game pretty much. Stanley King gets the 2nd star, and Caden Wilson the 3rd star. Nice. Well, that was a lot faster than I expected. We're only like 23 minutes into this episode, and we've already just won our series. Okay. Well, let's take a look at our player stats after the second round. We're 8-3 now in this playoff run. Now the question is, are we having a rematch with the Ducks in the conference finals after we take a look at these player stats? It could be. It could be. So let's see what we got here. So starting off with our centers, Misa on 15 points. He's been great. Bickle on 11 points. He's been solid too. Matsumoto only had 3 points. He's been pretty quiet, but he has shown up periodically. Golden had a big short-handed goal in the playoffs, so I will say that at least it's okay with him. But yeah, both those guys, not too much offense going for them. And then Cam had nothing in 4 games. Left wing wise, Groshek on 15 points. He was really good. Enroth on 6 points. He definitely had a much better second round with a couple early goals in the series. Eberle on 4 points. Still pretty quiet. Only the 1 goal. Hopefully he has a better conference finals. Landon on 2 points. Alexiev on the 1 assist. Right wing wise, Wilson on 16 points. Irving on 15 points. Jaquizi on 12. We are still pretty heavily reliant on our top 6. As you can see, everybody on our top 6 is point per game, and then you drop down by 5 points to the next closest guy. So we still need our third line to keep doing what it was doing early on with Enroth, but hopefully Eberle could get going, Matsumoto, Goldman, all those guys as well, because if our offense stops in our top 6, that's when we're going to end up losing. From a defensive standpoint, Kyrou is on 8 points and a +9. He's been great. Palin's +9 as well with 4 points. He's been solid. Vandermeer had, I'd say, a better second round, but he is still doing not as good as last year for sure. 4 points in 11 games and a +3. And then Scarlett has a goal. Vernarski has 1 assist. Louis Var has nothing. From a goaltending perspective, Stanley King had a fantastic second round. He goes from like a 900 save percentage or something like that up to a 925. And he's now 7-2 in the playoffs with also a 2.34 goals against. So Stanley King, hopefully he continues that into the next round. He also did pick up an assist I forgot about in the first round of the playoffs. So he's been doing anything he can to help this team out, which is very, very nice. Okay. Now the question is, are we going to be taking on the Ducks for the second year in a row in the conference finals? They need to win one more game. Is it going to be them again? Let's see, is it going to be the Ducks? It is going to be them. Okay, so we do have another rematch. We are literally going through the exact same teams as last year, because last year when we won the Cup, we took out the Blues in the first round, took out Blackhawks in the second round, then we took out the Ducks in conference finals to play the Boston Bruins for the Stanley Cup. This year, though, whoever wins the series will take on Buffalo or the Islanders. Well, that's interesting. That is very interesting. I think we already beat Buffalo in the Cup finals too, didn't we, in the series? I'm pretty sure. I could be completely wrong with that, but I think we've already beaten Buffalo one time for the Stanley Cup before this. But having a rematch of last year again is pretty funny. We once again have home ice advantage because we won the President's Trophy. But we are 8 wins away from a Stanley Cup again and being cemented as a dynasty, which is pretty nice. Let's take a look at what Anaheim has done so far regular season-wise and playoff-wise, and we'll take a look at the roster as well. So in terms of the regular season, how did they do? Let's just go Western Conference. They were the second best team in the Western Conference. This is where I feel like I might get knocked out because of that. Because it was a 13-point gap, but they were still a very, very good team. They scored less goals per game than us. They were similar defensively, but worse defensively. Their power play was worse. Their penalty kill was actually a tiny bit better by 0.4%. They scored 16 short-handed goals this season. Jeez, that might have led the league. Let me take a look at that. Let's see. Short-handed goals. Yeah, that led the league by 3 goals, short-handed-wise. And they had 6 more total than us. Yeah, that's a little bit scary that they might be able to score some short-handed goals on us. However, we have scored a short-handed goals here in the playoffs. I don't know how much they have scored. Let's do a comparison here in the playoffs. We are 8-3. They are 8-4. They're scoring just under as much goals as us, so we're both very similar offensive teams, scoring around 4.1 goals per game. Defensively, we're a little bit better, or quite a bit better after that second round. Their power play has been better than ours, and their penalty kill has also been better. Our penalty kill improved definitely in that last round. They have scored also 4 short-handed goals here in the playoffs. We've scored 2, so they are up to 20 short-handed goals combined, which is crazy. They're 5-1 on the road, but 3-on-3 on home ice. So that's interesting because we're 5-1 on home ice and 3-2 on the road. Yeah, these two teams are pretty similar, it seems like. Let's take a look at what their lineup is looking like. It's likely the exact same as like the last few years. And that means like Zegras, Leo Carlsson, Mason McTavish. Yeah, pretty much that. So, Leo Carlsson, Yanni Koivisto has taken over as that top line center. I think he was their second line center last year. And Ryder Ritchie's still there. They brought in Morgan Geekie, I think, this season. Let's see. Yeah, they brought him in from the New York Rangers, who were just eliminated in the conference finals. They also have Tara Verzegers still. Weston Lutz, I think he's new too. Yeah, he came over from the Columbus Blue Jackets, so they definitely brought in some new pieces since we played them last, which is kind of scary because this forward group is really nice. They also have Jose Climby. Mason McTavish is a third-line center. It's pretty crazy. And Igor Sokolov still there. Fourth line, Klim Kostin. I think Klim Kostin was brought in too. Yep, from Arizona. Vasily Ponomarev might be new as well. Yeah, he was brought in from the Dallas Stars, so they definitely brought in a lot of new pieces, which is kind of scary. And Michael Rasmussen's also new, coming over from Chicago via free agency. Huh. Yeah, that's a very good forward group. They definitely have the good depth down the middle, on the wings. So that forward group, fantastic. From a defensive standpoint, though, yep, still really good too. They were really good defensively last year. They have Mint Yukov still in Drysdale. Braden Schneider, I think, was already there. Olin Zellweger, of course, was. Ville Heinola, I think last year was a scratch for them when we played them. Oh, no, he was a scratch for the Blues in the first round. That's right. That's right. So he goes from St. Louis, who we played against last year in round 1, to now playing on the Ducks here in the conference finals. And also Matthias Nilstorp. Why do I recognize this guy's name? I knew it. I knew I recognized him. We made a trade years and years ago with the Rangers. This guy, I think, used to have low league potential. He played quite a few years in our AHL system, 4 years to be exact. Then he ends up getting dealt, I guess, or he actually signed with Chicago. Played a couple years in their minor league affiliate. Then played for Ottawa's affiliate. And this year he finally got a chance to prove himself in the NHL. He had 11 points, was a plus 14 at the age of 28. Damn. He actually did also play one playoff game with us back in 2031, which I honestly didn't even remember. So his only game with us in the entire NHL was a playoff game. Interesting. So a couple of former top 6 defenders there in Heinola and Nilstorp. Goaltending wise, Tommy Ladd. I think they had a different goalie last year, so their goaltending has changed up. Ladd was acquired, it looks like, via trade. Yeah, he was acquired via trade with the St. Louis Blues. And then they also have Calvin DeVries as a 75, who was promoted from the AHL this season. So they must have traded away their starting goaltender because he came up from the AHL midseason, unless they have an injury, that is, to one of their goaltenders. But their goaltending core is definitely weak. Their defense is good. Their offense is good. So who knows about those goaltenders if they could do good. And they did have an injury to Curry. It's Gavin Curry that was injured. He played 70 regular season games, and in the playoffs he was playing pretty solid after one game, but then he got injured, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for. I'm going to have to double check on that because that could dictate the series probably. Adrian Kempe is also there as a depth option. Daniel Lannon, the brother we said of our Lannon, and Riley Height is also there. Okay. How long is Curry out for? Because like I said, that could dictate the series. If they get their starter back, they're definitely much stronger. Hopefully he is not returning anytime soon. That's the first time I think I've seen a goalie get injured in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Pending evaluation. But if he only played the one game, was he not even playing, I guess, at the beginning in the playoffs? He must have been like a backup or something like that to the other goaltender. That must be the case. Because if it's pending evaluation still and we're in the conference finals, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see when he ends up returning. I guess we won't be able to find out till next episode. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll have another rematch with the Anaheim Ducks in the conference finals as we look to get to the Stanley Cup finals again. And maybe win our 3rd cup in 5 years, because that would be amazing. That's the goal with this team right now, is to turn it into a dynasty. And this team just keeps on cruising in the playoffs. So who knows what's going to happen for us? Are we going to get knocked out because not necessarily of a cheese team, but another good team also going up against us? So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.